Chapter 13. Lucy's point of view. 1 week has passed since the battle. I still have the sword that Mochi gave me. I kept it hidden. I don't want to use it in public, but I want to learn how to use it. There was this one time I went to the land of sand to look for something. Instead, I found a friend. He was really nice, and we're the same age. Flashback. I asked Ji-sun for permission to go to the land of sand. He wondered why, but I told him that I got a sword from Zabuza and needed materials from there to fix it a little. He gave me a permit and offered protection, but I insisted him that I'll be alright and it would be suspicious for a bodyguard to walk around with me. This was 2 days after the battle. I brought scrolls filled with weapons with me just in case. I left a note on my table just in case my team wonders where I went. If I were to tell them in person, they would all just come along, especially Sasuke. And so I decided not to tell them. I flashed now and then. I just didn't want to take my time going there because I was excited. I got there after hours of flashing. There were guards, and so I showed them my pass and they let me in. There was a narrow alley. No, it was more of a valley that was split, creating a pathway inside. I walked in and I was amazed by the view. After a while of shopping, I went back to my apartment. Well, you see, I rented out an apartment for 5 hours. Sadly, I can only stay here for a day. I was bored and I only had 3 hours left, so I ventured out into the street. I was at a park. It was quite empty, except there was a boy on top of the tree branch. He had red hair, a kanji symbol for love on his forehead, and a huge sand gourd around his back and a book. I walked over to him and said, "Hey." He didn't even look down. He just continued reading his book. I silently sat next to him. "Your book must be very interesting," I said. He was surprised and a little scared. "Hey," I waved at him. "You finally noticed me," I said, smiling. "How did you get here?" he demanded. "I jumped here," I said. He looked at me with disbelief. "I'm joking." I grabbed his book and looked at its cover. It was titled The Monster Inside of Me. "This is a really interesting book. That's why you didn't even look," I said. Again, he was surprised, but this time he talked. "How are you not harmed?" "What do you mean?" I asked. "Usually when people are around me, they get hurt by my sand. You're the first person to ever get this close to me and even touch things I hold," he explained. "Then maybe I'm special," I said with a smile. "I guess you are." "What's your name?" "I'm Gaara. And you?" "I'm Lucy. Want to be my friend?" He was surprised and scared. It took him a while to recover from the shock, and he finally said, "Yes." I smiled at his response, and so we hung out for 2.5 hours. I told him I had to go, so I went to my apartment. He was waiting outside and led me outside. I hugged him and said, "No matter what, I'll always be your friend." Flashback end. It was such a fun day. I wish it could have lasted more. Gaara of the Sand. I said to myself. I was at my apartment laying down on my bed. It really was a great dream, but I guess now I have to face reality. I got up from my bed and got ready for the day. I got plans for today with Sasuke. I'm walking down to his apartment and I thought to myself, he's living alone just like Naruto and me. He lives far from us though. I'm so tired. What are we even going to do? After a while of walking, I'm finally there. He was already waiting for me outside his apartment. "Hey," he said. "Hey," I replied. "What are we gonna do today?" I asked. "Let's walk around," he replied. "Okay," I said. We walked around the village, we laughed, we joked around, we played tricks on each other in the forest, we went to see the view on top of the Hokage monument, and finally, we sat on top of a tree looking over our teammates that were playing around with 3 little kids. "Oh, it's Konohamaru," I smiled looking down at them. Suddenly, there was a guy with a puppet behind his back. He bumped into Naruto, which got him pissed. Naruto being Naruto, he wanted the puppet guy to apologize, so he grabbed his shirt. They both got all grumpy at each other, and Sasuke threw a rock over their heads to make them stop. They both looked up and saw Sasuke with rocks, and me sitting on the tree branch with him. Then I felt another presence on the other side of the branch. It felt familiar. "Kankuro, let it be, or else I'll kill you," he said. I smiled. It was him. He jumped off the tree and landed on his 2 feet. They were about to walk away until Sakura asked them to state their business for coming here. "Oh, Sakura, you're like a curious little cat." "We have a permit to come here for the tuning exams," the blonde-haired girl said. "What's the tuning exam?" Naruto asks. "It's an opportunity for a genin to be promoted to tuning," I said. "Oh, hey Lucy, I want to go too," Naruto said. I jumped off too and said, "Hey." Gaara saw me and widened his eyes a bit, but made it soft afterwards. They were about to walk away again until Sasuke went down and asked his name. The blonde-haired girl turned around and said, "Who, me?" "No, the guy with the sandbag," Sasuke said back. Gaara turned around and said, "Gaara of the Sand. And you?" "Sasuke Uchiha." Gaara and his gang turned forward and kept on walking, leaving Naruto behind all gloomy because they didn't ask his name. I turned around to face my team. "Guys, why don't we participate too?" I asked him. "We should tell Sensei!" Sakura and Naruto yelled. Sasuke wasn't paying attention and left. But I have a bad feeling. Chapter 14. Lucy's point of view. Everyone ran off to look for Sensei, but as for me, I looked for my new friend. He probably got lost around here somewhere. That would be a funny sight. He was acting a bit sensitive. Maybe it wasn't a great morning for him. I should make him feel better. I heard that it's only 3 people in each group that are able to participate. I hope it's not true. No matter for now. I have to find Gaara quick. Before my teammates wonder where I am. Where could he be? I was jumping on rooftops all over the village, and then I stopped on top of a shrine. I smiled because I finally found him. He was sitting down looking at the sky. He was at peace. Was he waiting for me? I got closer, then had a closed-eyed smile and said, "Hey Gaara, how have you been?" He turned around with a slight blush and replied, "I've been all right. You?" I sat next to him and replied, "Great. So are you going to participate in the tuning exam?" he asked. I was silent for a while. I don't know. You see, I heard that only a 3-man squad are allowed to participate, and my team has 4. That also includes me, I explained. Was all he said. I guess it was true then, I said. Then he got quiet again. "Hey, I have a plan if that happens, but promise me you won't tell anyone, not a soul," I said. His eyes had interest and vowed never to break our promise. I whispered my ideas to his ear. After a while he agreed and would even help me if needed to. We chatted for a while, and I finally realized that I had to be somewhere. I completely forgot!" I suddenly yelled. Gaara got worried and asked me, "What's wrong? What did you forget?" I had to meet up with my teammates about the exam. "I'm sorry, Gaara, but our reunion has to be cut short," I apologized. "It's all right. I'm glad I was able to see you," he said. I was already running, but I yelled out, "I promise I'll make it up to you." "Lucy, you're late," Sakura yelled. Naruto was probably too irritated by Sasuke to even notice. And Sasuke was being Sasuke. "Ah, there you are, Lucy," Sensei said. "Sorry, I got lost from the "Liar!" Sakura yelled again. I sweat dropped and Sensei spoke up. "Already tried that, eh, Lucy?" "Yeah," I said with disappointment. "But geez, Sakura, you're pretty active during the day," I continued to say. "All right, now since everyone is here, I have something to give you all. And there's bad news," Sensei said. "What's the bad news?" the trio teammates said, which were Naruto, Lucy, and Sakura. Sensei looked down, took a deep breath, and said, "I wanted to tell the good news first, but if you insist, unfortunately the exam can only have 3 people in each team to participate, so one of you has to back down." My face darkened because I knew. I knew that it was true. I raised my hand and said, "Sensei, I'll back down." Everyone looked at me shocked and concerned. "But, Lucy, you'll stay as a genin until the next Chunin exam. And what if everyone got to be Chunin?" Naruto and Sakura yelled. Sasuke grabbed my shoulders and made me face him. And then he yelled, "What are you doing? I thought you wanted to be strong. So why would you back down?" He let go and felt a bit bad for yelling at her. I was quiet. "I want everyone to take the exam. Even if I don't make it, please don't back down because of me. Take the exam and make me proud. Please," I said while smiling. Everyone was defeated and angry. "Why does the system have such laws?" Sakura murmured. Sensei continued with his explanation. "We're sorry, Lucy, if you weren't able to participate." He handed everyone a paper. "This will be your ticket to participate, so make sure to keep them. The exam will be in a few weeks, so get ready. And meet at 302 3rd floor." While they were talking about the exams, I pulled myself up to the railing and sat down outside the bridge area, listening to the sound of the river. In the corner of my eye, I could see Sasuke's face written with guilt. I raised my hand for a quick question to Sensei. He looked at me and asked, "Yes, Lucy?" he asked. "Can I drop off my teammates to their room?" He smiled and replied, "Yes, of course." And of course of that answer, I smiled. It will start then. The three of us were walking down after Sensei's short explanation. I bet Peace won't be staying too long after my act out of there. And here it goes. "Lucy, you didn't have to back down. It should have been me," Sakura said. "Nonsense, Sakura. Don't get too beaten down by it. It was my choice. And besides, I want you all to succeed. So make me proud. This also includes you boys." "But..." "No buts, or else it wouldn't be fun to watch you guys spar with each other." "Smile, guys. I'll manage myself, so don't worry." "All right, if you say so." We then all parted ways and I went to Gramps. I still have to tell him about my plan. I don't want Gramps to interfere or think badly of it. I used teleportation jutsu so that no one knows I'm going there. It's better that way. I'm finally at the door. I stared at it for a whole minute, thinking, I hope my plan will work. I've been secretly trying to use my other chakra. I think I'm getting the hang of it. Just sometimes Kurama gets bored of me and would play a prank. But other than that, it's great. Well, anyways, I should get started. I wasn't thinking and burst into the room. I got Gramps panicked from my sudden intrusion. He then fixed himself up and asked, "What's wrong?" Gramps, I didn't mean to get you panicked, but I have a favor to ask you." He nodded. "Well, her plan will be revealed soon enough. And with that said, I'm gonna leave you guys here."